My shit on mute too? This is crazy, man. Evan Turner? Are we live? Are we live?
How you doing, Andre?
Terrible.
Why are you terrible?
You do know minimum guys don't do media.
Yeah. You're not the average minimum guy that I got.
No. If you're paid minimum, you're minimum. He gonna say, all right, we're gonna pay you the minimum, but we want you to do above the minimum. Typical Raymond.
Blame him.
I'm my own agent. No, I got an agent, but I'm my own agent. So if I had an agent, I wouldn't have to do media? They're crying broke, all NBA teams. That's the thing. As soon as the TV money come in, right before it comes in. Right?
How is your knee feeling? Knee, right?
It's at the minimum.
Okay, perfect.
No. The knee is good. The knee just kind of, the knee was something that's never happened to me before, and it kind of set me back. It was just weird. That was just kind of crazy. But then the things that I've been struggling with over the last 5 years of my career, they started to creep back up once the knee got better because I took time away from it trying to get the knee better. So it was just a chain reaction of bad events, and we working it all out.
What part of the knee the knee injury had you never experienced?
I never had swelling from fluid like that.
Right.
In that manner. I probably only got drained twice in my career. Mm-hmm. And then I was drained numerous amounts of time during like a 6-week span. It was just kind of crazy.
With anything different like this, has it been any kind of mental toll? I mean, obviously you're a veteran, you've seen everything at this point, but I mean, how do you kind of prepare for something like this with it lingering a little bit? No,
I mean, you got to be patient with it. It can be frustrating, but I'm at the stage in my career where nothing surprises you, and you get bad breaks, you get good breaks. Probably the most frustrating thing was that I was playing so well before it happened. That was the most frustrating thing. But while it's happening, probably the optimistic way to look at it was this is probably supposed to happen at this time in your life. So, we on our way out. So just deal with it.
Exactly.
Any question that you'll be full go, say, by April?
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I had a really good workouts this week. I don't know what today is. Thursday. Monday was really good. Tuesday was good. Wednesday was lighter, solid, and it was just like, we're close. So we're in a good headspace.
I don't know if I even asked you, since Klay has been back and Steph's had the shooting issues but come back, how do you see this team, especially with those two guys, kind of developing right now?
It's all like kind of interesting right now where we're able to work out the grueling grind of an NBA schedule with some madness thrown in there. Like there's a wrench been thrown in, and then kind of our clock works right now, and it's trying to throw things off, but the way we've been handling it hasn't been spoken about, or no one's really kind of paid attention to kind of what we've gone through. And I think we've done a really good job of getting through kind of the gauntlet of not just the season, but the injuries, the lineups. We haven't been able to get as much work as we would like together, and the way we've handled it. We got the second best record in the league still. That's kind of amazing considering everything that's happened with Draymond, Klay coming back, Jordan going to the bench, Steph trying to work through different lineups. That plays just as big a role as, the shooting slump, you would say. He's just trying to figure some things out as well. Some guys may not be as used to playing with him. And then, we got Wise trying to work his way back. Otto's had a few in and out. He doesn't play back-to-back, so we haven't had as much consistency with our lineups. And considering all that, we're still got the second best record in the league. We're looking to, we're limping through the All-Star break, but we're going to, I think we're doing a good job just trying to get there. And then coming out, we're shooting for the moon.
Has Klay been what you expected? A little more, a little less? What do you see there?
Probably more. I don't think anyone expected him to play at such a high level. so fast. And, I think throughout each game, he's been able to reassess, his performances, not just in the box score, but, defensively, the new sets we put in, his old plays that he forgot that we put in. But I've seen a ton of progression from him. We saw, 6 assists performance last week. And then we haven't spoken about Wiggs and performance Wiggs has been having throughout the season and the performances that he's had since Klay's gotten back. Because, Klay's got this, very big, what do you want to call it, aura about him when he's on the court. And he just finds a way to make his presence felt. And Wiggs is a little more shy. So we had to remind Wiggs, we need you to go out and still be on attack. And he's done a great job of doing that.
I was going to ask you about Andrew, but I'll pivot to a different question. You guys are doing something really unique. We're winning now, developing in the future. You have yourself, Steph, Dre, Klay, and then you have James and Moses and Jonathan. Have you ever seen an organization with future Hall of Famer players still very much, the key to your current success while also having 3 high lottery picks kind of in the waiting wings?
I mean, the Boston Celtics used to do it. It seemed like year in, year out, right? I don't know how Red Auerbach was getting. Maybe the CBA allowed him to circumvent some of the rules because they kept having lottery picks, right? It was kind of crazy. So the history for the month, it's white history though, but so it's not allowed. No, I think it's a unique position to be in. It's pretty tough to do. You go back historically, the Detroit Pistons had a second pick and they got Darko Milicic and, how could you develop him while still trying to win a championship? What Carmelo's career looked like if he was drafted there instead. There's so many different things that go in and come into play. So we're just trying to help them develop, become best players they can be. And we've seemed to be able to strike lightning a few times here, with Steph injury and lower salary, being able to bring me in, being able to go get KD, the timing of everything. And then you have a few more injuries in 2 year. You call it a break where, you take some L's, but you're able to get some solid draft picks, get a good young core for the future. And it's just, it kind of got hit by some luck. And, I don't want to put too much pressure on them and tell them listen, this is the standard. You have to live up to this. Everyone has their own journey. And as long as they enjoy playing the game and working hard and understand what it takes to be a professional and get better incrementally each and every day, they have a lot of upside and a bright future.
What did you think of how they handled that game in San Antonio?
They did a great job. I have that old man's wisdom. So I kind of have to keep them humble, and says, this league has become a league where you guys get confidence down 20 or up 20, and then, those are the most dangerous teams. We've been there before where we've gone up against teams and we've been up big or we've been up big and a team makes a run at us. And it's like some teams are really comfortable playing down because they have nothing to lose. So, you don't want to get comfortable enjoying those wins like that. It's just don't get down 15. But they did an incredible job. You got to give them a lot of credit. They executed really well. We had a play we ran underneath out of bounds. Damian Lee got a corner 3, which is great execution. I saw Moses Moody dive on the floor many, many times coming with the loose balls. Those 50-50 balls are something you can't teach, and it's something you got to continue to get on guys about, and that's something that grit that he has. And Chioza hit some big shots for us as well, and he's capable of doing that. And for him, is that fine line of being a distributor and being on attack, and he's kind of finding his rhythm. So it was really good. Jordan Poole had a good night for us. He shot too many damn shots, but got to his good rhythm. And then obviously Damian Lee hit 5 threes. So it was just a good night all the way around. And we always talked about how they can, use their, they may not have as much playing time, but the nights that they do, whether it's a blowout or not, they got to use that time to get better for nights like the one we had last game.
I want to touch on your knee really quickly again. When did you get it all flushed out and stuff?
It's been clear now for New Orleans. Okay. The New Orleans, right the day before, 2 days before New Orleans is when it kind of all cleared up, and it's been good since. Yeah.
just, I mean, you talked about it a little bit, but what's that balance of maybe frustration, more excitement that we haven't seen you, Steph, Klay, Draymond, Wiggs all together? I mean, that has to be kind of in the back of your mind right now, I'd assume.
Yeah, it's crazy we haven't even given it too much thought. So it's definitely something that we're looking forward to. But we have tons of possibilities. I've even been looking at, the four core guys. You got myself, or you got Otto, or you got Wise. There's just so many guys, just the fifth man you could throw out there. And it's kind of like we're tailored for any type of matchup, whether teams want to go big or small. We're suited for it, even Kuminga, So there's just so many different lineups we can throw out there. And just a matter of us, buying into kind of the strength and numbers we had the first go around, 2014-15, where I tell the guys all the time, myself, Sean Livingston, Barbosa, Brandon Rush gave us some great minutes. Justin Holiday gave us some great minutes. Festus Ezeli, Maurice Spates. And there was 7 guys off the bench, and each one had big nights throughout the year. And, we kind of have that same setup. So just understanding the long haul and, winning is more valuable than individual performances, especially coming off the bench with a team like this. And this one, winning will extend your career. So just buying into the team concept.
You mentioned Wiseman again, and you have always mentioned James as somebody to circle and don't forget about him. Do you still see that in him for this season? What do you see him, what his path maybe to getting back?
Well, I know he wants to be out there, but he's grinding. He's on the court now, so he's working. It's good to see, and the more I get to see him, obviously, the more I'm finding flaws. So that's the type of player or guy I am, finding a flaw and then trying to fix it. So, even yesterday, he and I were working out together, and I saw a few flaws, and I'll be sure to, start keying in on that. It's you get to this level and there's not as much emphasis on the small things because, historically they assume you have it already instilled in your game coming from college. And, you got 2 or 3 years of tutelage and, you got the fundamentals. But, now he only played 3 or 4 college games. So just a few things that he's got to clean up and small things too. So easy fixes. And I saw him on the court today. He did something and it's just he has that wow factor.
Go, Kareth on Zoom.
Hi, Andre. I'd like to go back to Jordan Poole, please, and a piece of advice you gave him at the beginning of the season.
I'd like to go home.
Excuse me?
I'd like to go home.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Back to Jordan Poole and what you told him about earlier this season, his Klay Thompson stat lines, where you noticed he could attack more, maybe get to the free throw line more. Mm-hmm. He is getting to the free throw line more. He has the best free throw percentage in the league.
League.
2 questions there. What have you been noticing about the way Jordan Poole is playing lately? And 2, what do you think about his ability to soak in some guidance?
I think he's been taking accountability is big. So he's taking some accountability in some of the mistakes he's making and he's getting better at them. And I think the first phase of that is just simplifying his game. Sometimes he'll have his man beat 2 or 3 times per touch. And, you only need to beat your man 1 time in this league. You beat your man 1 time, you're at the advantage. But, he'll beat his man once and then bring it back, beat him again and bring it back, then beat him again. And it's just like, you just kill 6 or 7 seconds, just, headshot and get him out of there. It's kind of, the wordplay I use with him. So he's getting him out of there early, which leads to him either creating for someone else or getting to the basket to get the opportunity to get to the foul line because, you've seen him with some amazing finishes at the basket, whether it's a Euro step and probably the first I've seen in the game where a guy comes to a 1-2 and he stops on one leg off his second step and waits for the defense to pass him and he's finishing without jumping. It was one of those games probably a week or 2 ago. And he's getting smarter, knowing when we're in the penalty, knowing when to be in attack. Chris Paul has been amazing at that. It's 5 minutes to go in the second or fourth quarter, and he'll use his rip through where JP's find his gamesmanship and get to the line where we're in the penalty, especially coming off the bench. Detlef Shrimp was big at that. You got some guys who were, always said, I get my rhythm coming off the bench by just getting to the foul line because it's 3 or 4 fouls, team fouls for the opposing team when you're close to the penalty. So he's thinking about that. And then I just think he's more open to information. You know, as before, you're young, you hear it, but you're trying to figure out, is it useful to you, and who's it benefiting? You know, you get a lot of advice that may not benefit you. It might benefit the person giving it. And I think he's buying into the information he's being given is benefiting him more than anything. So he's just getting more comfortable with it.
All right, Anthony?
What have you thought about Kevon Looney's season, especially heading towards unrestricted free agency this summer?
Yeah, you know, he's one of those guys where I'm always worried about because they do more than the eyeball sees or the stat sheet sees. You know, you have to have a pretty good basketball mind to have a good understanding of the value he brings to the team. And that's league wide, where you're missing how valuable someone is because, you know, they may only have a game where have 2 points and 13 rebounds. He has a couple of those games this year, but he's always in the right place. And you know, we're second in the league with the record. So obviously says a lot because Steve's trusts him. And, you know, Steve is a IQ guy. So he trusts guys with a high IQ, with a winning IQ. And Looney's just that guy, understands. He's probably one of the best screen setters in the league as well. Andrew Bogut, you give him a lot of credit. He was a really good vet and kind of showing Loon, like, you know, this is what you do. Anything Bogut said, Loon did it. Anything Draymond says, Loon did it. You know, and he understood, like, you know, you got to earn your minutes on the court. Nothing was ever given to him. So, I mean, through the injuries that he's had and being able to understand how to keep his career going and, you know, some of the things he's doing off the court with yoga, nutrition, and all those things. He's one of those guys, you know, I look back and say I'm proud to be a part of that guy's career because he did it the right way. And hopefully people understand the value in having a winning IQ.
Let's go Monty quick and then finish with John.
All right. Andre, when you guys were here, when you were here before, you guys always looked at the number one seed as a goal. And I'm wondering this season, how important is that? And part two is how much of a threat do you see the Suns as you watch that team go through this season to you guys?
Yeah. You look at it a few different ways. You know, some ways, you know, you don't reveal the information, but one thing we know about them is they're a championship caliber team. They proved that last year. They got to the finals, and they have a hungry group that want to get back. They have a young core that wants to get better. They have a really good mix-up of young and veteran players. You know, you got Chris Paul and Jay Crowder as, you know, kind of their vets leading the way. Chris Paul's doing some incredible things, you know, MVP candidate year in, year out for the last 16 years, which is amazing. And then you got the young core of Booker. You got Aiden, everyone talks about, but Bridges, and I'm drawing the blank on the Cam Johnson, shooting the lights out, looking to get a big payday himself. They have a great core, and then they got some bench guys. JaVale McGee's continuing to prove, you know, he's continuing to get further and further away from, you know, the perception that the league had of him, and he's a complete winner. And Bismack Biyombo just had a 10-day stretch that was amazing. So they're just plugging guys in and out. You got to give a lot of credit to their coaching staff. They're doing a hell of a job over there with that organization, with the team, from the coaching staff and the players, and they're just really hungry to win. And then you got other teams in the West too. And one thing about Phoenix is they're really, really tough to beat at home. So that home court advantage will come into play. So, you know, going into the break, we know we got finished the business that's there, but then coming out of the break, you know, we feel like we have some room to make up, and we have an opportunity to.
Yeah, Andre, a lot of younger guys on the team seem to call you a mentor. When is Jordan Poole? How do you see his evolution so far on the court?
Yeah, I think he's just doing, I was speaking on it earlier. He's done a really good job of understanding information given to him. Or I think before he was hearing information, you know, but the difference between listening and hearing. And I think when he and I have conversations, he's listening because I think he's starting to understand that I don't have anything to gain from the information that I'm giving him. It's only for him. And it's understandable because, you know, the lives we live as professional athletes, African-American athletes, there's a lot of traps and there's a lot of people trying to take advantage of us. So you don't know who to trust. You don't know who to believe. And that's whether you're on the court or off the court and within the organization, outside the organization. And I think, you know, he's starting to understand that myself, Draymond, Steph, Klay, you know, Steve, even the front office, I think Bob as well, you know, the information that we're giving him is for him and we want to see him succeed. And I think it's documented, Brett, that we want him here for a while. I don't want to speak out of turn. I won't put Bob in any vulnerable situations come free agency or come an extension time. But I think, you know, we like Jordan Poole. And so I think that's made him comfortable in taking on the information and then taking the information and then going out there and working on it. And then, you know, if he has to change something in his game for the betterment of the team, he'll do that. But also understanding changes in his game is still better for him. He's starting to come around and understand that.
What could you say for his work ethic? Because he maybe wasn't doing this last
No, I think he's a guy that always had the work ethic. You know, he always worked hard. He was always in the gym. And I think now it's just that he just widened his lens in terms of, you know, when he was playing basketball, maybe he had that tunnel vision and it was just him in the basket. Now you're seeing him make some great plays for other people, and which is opening up the game more for himself. So he's just the lens has just gotten a little wider, and that's with experience and that's just with maturity, and he's doing both of those things well.